Hello, and welcome to a very jovial review of the Manchester United vs Liverpool game. Didn't really expect to be coming into it with this much enthusiasm, to be honest. If you saw my preview in the past, I said that we'd lose. So the fact that we've come away with our first win in nearly a decade is a slightly different feel to this review than I thought it was going to be. It's also not just me in this one again. So I'm going to be later on joined by my mate called Jon, who I do a bit of content with from a group called Sensible United. I will leave the links down below. I've mentioned them in the past, but yeah, I will be leaving everything you need in the description. Go over there, you can see more of me there. You can see plenty of other incredible Reds and their points of view, and they'll be doing a review later in the week as well, which will definitely be worth a listen, especially since you're going to hear me talking to Jon here, and yeah, they're all sound, so it's definitely one to check out later down the line. And I'm also joined by two of the people that sent in clips for me for the preview. So I'm joined by D, and I am also joined by Alex. They gave their thoughts on how the result went. So similar to the preview, I will cut to them in a second, and they're just going to give their thoughts and just their ideas on what this could mean for us the season. So without further ado, here's Alex.
Hey guys, Alex here, and I think this will be a little bit more of an emotional reaction than any kind of meaningful analysis, but what a result that is to win at Anfield for the first time in 10 seasons and finally rid ourselves of that devil on the back of not having won back-to-back games in the Premier League under Ruben Amorim. I don't think it was the best performance, in all honesty. We gave up a lot of chances and we relied quite a bit on Liverpool really being quite dysfunctional. On another day, if they'd taken one of the chances at 1-1, then it's a different story. But I thought we showed a lot of grit, a lot of resoluteness. I thought Matheus Cunha in that last 20 minutes was just absolutely outstanding, just making himself a nuisance, keeping the ball away from them. I thought after seeing the lineup, I think we were all a little bit surprised by for a start, Harry Maguire in over Lenny Yoro. I was very concerned about how the channel on our right-hand side, about how we would be defending that. But I was also surprised to see Ahmad starting, and I didn't think we'd be as bold as that. But we did immediately cause them problems on that side. That's where the goal came from. And I think playing Cunha paid off. It really looks like good man management now. That he was poor against Brentford. He looked selfish at times. He was taking pot shots and not following instructions, I don't think, very well. And then I think it sent a message to him that he didn't get the start against Sunderland, and then turned in what I think was an excellent performance today, especially in that second half. Harry Maguire, what a hero, just over the moon. Let's just try and use this as a launch pad now. We've got some decent fixtures coming up. The next time we play one of the top four sides, i.e. Arsenal, Liverpool, City and Chelsea, is in not until game week 22, or I think sort of well after Christmas. So we've got a really good stretch now, and we're playing a lot of the sides that are in European competition, like Spurs, Forest, and then Villa and Newcastle. So hopefully the fact that we've got that weekly break can really be useful now, and that we can kick on from here. But come on.
Good evening, Benjamin. It was a great game. I feel like we were never gonna go to Anfield and dominate. I feel like I said previously, I feel like starting with Ahmed was going to show a level of intent to see what we believe in ourselves can be attack this game. I feel like it was a good game from the manager. I feel like it was needed, it was deserved. I feel like there's been many a time this season where we should have won. We hadn't. So it was good to get Anfield. A lot of players stood up today. The manager made some brave calls in terms of the lineup. No Sesko, no Lenny Yoro, and he went with it. And I think it was justified. I think the way he tried to play, the things he was looking for in the team, and the moments of the game that he anticipated will come, to back up with his lineup, everything kind of fell into place. Those three guys mixing it, someone going as a number 9 and 2 10s, Ibemo, Mount, Cunha, fighting for the second balls every single time. Bruno joining them, fighting for the second balls every single time. was good to see. Ahmad taking on his man, being a terror. I think he's getting stronger in the season. He's getting stronger in the season. Yeah, it was good. I feel like, albeit Liverpool's team looks confused at the moment, I think we went man to man for them. I feel like it showed. I feel like it showed. I feel like it was a good victory. I feel like it was deserved. I feel like we performed in all the key areas, our duels, a lot of players. I can't really think of many players that were losing a lot of their duels in this game. There's a lot of talk about the midfield too, but we won the first half that duel. Casemiro and Bruno, I think they won their duels in the first half. They were the best midfield pairing. So yeah, it was a good game. Time to build on this. Time to keep going. Have faith in the manager. Stop letting see a lot of interactions on X in regards to lineup. Manager sees the players throughout the week. He sees things that we don't. We need to support him and back him. That's all I've always felt like we should be challenging for a top 5 position this year. So I don't see why we can't. We're Man United.
Hello. All right. Thank you everyone for sending in your clips for what was a pretty outstanding result from Manchester United. As I prefaced at the start of this video, I am joined by John, who I've been doing some work from Central United. Hello John, how are you?
Not so bad, how are you been?
Yeah, much better than I was this morning, that's for sure.
Yeah, much better than I was after about 78 minutes of that game, I think.
Yeah, it felt like one of those ones, as soon as Liverpool got that equaliser, it felt like they'd be the next one to score, but thank God they weren't.
Yeah, it was yeah, so tense, and it felt like their goal was coming, and when it did, there was that like inevitability that they would get that one, but once they scored, I didn't feel actually like they were going to progress and get a second. I'm just really glad that we did.
Yeah, I mean, we had that moment with Gakpo's header sent the box from Frimpong. That's about it, really. We had fair, like, cagey deflections here and there, go away with a fair few corners, but we just looked that bit more comfortable in the air, especially than we were at the start of the season. I think we've talked about him quite a lot previously, but I think Lamont made a big difference again today.
Oh, massive. He's so composed. Like, he's so, like, quietly self-confident. And it's obviously just such a like calming presence for the defenders in front of him to know that like he's going to come, he's going to claim the ball, he'll take it cleanly, it's not going to get fumbled, it's not going to get spilled at the feet of a striker that's rushing in. Like, he's there, he's safe, he's secure, and it just calms everyone else down as well. So yeah, he's made a massive difference since he's come in.
Yeah, I mean, we had quite a lot with Bayern and Onana, what we like to refer to as bozo moments, where just halfway through something happening, their brain switches off, and it feels like they're reacting to something they should have been ready for in the first place. Like we had a few times where a cross would come in, he'd punch it clear, or we had that moment where the ball was up in the air, he slightly misjudged it, but then he just came and claimed it, fell on it, kept the ball. You just know for a fact, if that's like Onana or Bayern they're coming for that. They're switching off and they're just punching it away, and this pressure is continuing. It's just like you said, that calming nature. He just seemed unfazed, like he's been playing at Anfield every week for his whole life. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a very, very confident, and I'm so relieved we have him.
I mean, we even saw it for the Isak chance, where he just made himself big, saved it, got up, saved the McAllister rebound. It wouldn't have counted anyway because it went out of play. But it's just that, yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't want to get carried away because we obviously know he's still only 23. That's very young for a goalkeeper. It's only been 2 matches. But I've been talking to people in other group chats. If he'd have started the season in goal, we'd be probably like top right now. It's really weird to say. But if
we'd definitely be
Arsenal
second
game,
anyway.
Yeah, because Bayern when he flopped that Arsenal one, if we didn't concede there, I think we win that game and we'd be equal on points right now with Arsenal and City at the top.
Yeah. No, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, yeah, just such small margins have made such a big difference. But like the fact that we're in touching distance of that now is really encouraging in and of itself. I think, like, obviously it's United against Liverpool. It's the big game of the season, especially at Anfield for some reason. I always think that's such a defining moment each year, and it's amazing to go there and to beat them, but also for what it means kind of in the bigger picture of where we were last year. Okay, yeah, we drew there 2-2, but like, see, we finished 15th in the league. To then, like, yeah, turn around and go there and win and get ourselves up within, yeah, touching distance of kind of the top places in the league is fantastic. Like, it's such a big turnaround, and I don't think that it's really been recognised yet, because the start of the season was so up and down.
Yeah. The thing is, as well, as good as this game is for us and this result is for us, it just feels amazing that we're contributing to Liverpool continuing to struggle. That it couldn't have been a better time to continue this issue for them. If we'd have been like their first defeat of the season, they would have been a bit annoyed, but that's about it. They've just been annoyed about the result. But we've contributed to them losing 4 in a row, their worst record in 11 years, and we've made that a little bit sweeter, which makes our win better for us, but also just adds to the meltdown, which just makes it so much better.
That's it, and I think there was a risk, or a lot of us felt like there was a risk before the game of kind of coming up against sort of the wounded beast in a way, and that never materialised at all. Obviously, the fast start that we got just completely cut that out.
Absolutely.
Didn't let them get settled into the game at all. Just completely cut their feet out from underneath them, and yeah, it was just magic, absolutely magic.
I felt like there was going to be 2 options. It was either going to be we're going against a wounded beast, as you said, or a wounded puppy. It felt like it was more wounded puppy at the start, and they just never quite got there. Because we had moments where it just felt quite easy. It's weird, especially behind Minos Kirkos, which is what a lot of people pointed out before the game. I did as well. Is that they're going to be weak behind there because they have been all season. Not just him, but Van Dijk's been really poor as well, and we saw it for the first goal literally straight away.
That's it. Yeah, it was really clear in the first half, particularly. Like, they kick it long, and at first it looked a little bit strange because you had Mbeumo up against Van Dijk, kind of challenging for the header, but it drew Van Dijk forward, which just left all this space in behind. So we'd pick up the second ball, whether it was Bruno, Casemiro, playing out to Ahmad wide, and then to Mbeumo running into that space that Van Dijk's been drawn out of, and like, it was so effective so many times, kind of through that first half, especially. Like, clearly it was something that they'd identified and tried to target, and it worked really, really well and really quickly.
There's a lot of the mentality of Mbeumo as well. The fact that he went down, just got up and kept going. We'd have seen it so many times over the years with United players. They'd lose that duel there and they'd stay down, roll around, look at the referee wanting a free kick, just because they think that, you know what, it's early in the game, let's just slow it down a bit. Whereas Mbeumo is just that injection of pace. He's recognised the situation and is just wanting to get in. As we've mentioned, Mbeumo is quite an intelligent player. He just seems to do everything the right way, and it's just, again, showing the level of quality that he has.
That's it. He's obviously very smart, very switched on, and yeah, just really, really high quality in everything that he does as well. Like, his touches are good, his passes are good, his finishing's good, generally speaking, both feet. Yeah, I'm so glad he's our player. Like, so glad he's been one of our standouts in the season so far.
Yeah, I mean, we've questioned it quite a lot. Where did we really need to bring in Cunha and Mbeumo? But both of them in this one game alone showed what they bring to the team. So you had Mbeumo in his directness, in his willing to run, that created the issue in the first place for the first goal. And then we saw towards the end what Cunha brings to this team, which is just that composure on the ball, his willingness just to not let anyone push him off of it. Feels like before this game we went into it with right hand side is going to punish them, left hand side is going to control them, and it worked perfectly.
Yeah, no, it really did. I was very, very impressed with Cunha today as well. And as you say, winning the ball in, or taking the ball, receiving the ball in deep areas, willing to carry it, to run with it, to get us up the field, to draw fouls, to sort of towards the end of the game slow it down a bit, and just give us I suppose the field position and the breaks in the play when we needed them, as well as kind of getting chances in behind too.
Yeah, we knew that it was going to be a big part of his game because he's one of the most fouled players in the league last season, if not the most fouled player. Where he just picks it up, head down, just beats a man. But we saw it at times as well where he was literally on that wing. He beat like 2 or 3 players, and they just play it back. What that does is it makes the opposition retreat. We can reset, and it's just a treat. We used to do it quite a lot where a player would get it, try and beat their man, get out muscled, they lose the ball, and they were being broken on. It happened. I don't want to beat a dead horse because he's not a player anymore, but it happened quite a lot with Garnacho. He'd run down that wing, get out muscled, ball would turn over, and we're being counted on.
That's it, and I think kind of with the way the team is sort of set up around certain areas, so like we know that Mbeumo's almost kind of designed or pre-programmed, it's what he does, to carry that ball up. So you need to get players kind of around him as options to retain the ball and keep possession kind of in those moments when we need to control the game.
For sure. I mean, as well, one issue that I think a lot of people had before this game, and it's an issue we've had for a while now, is that midfield balance. I think Casemiro had a quietly really good game again, just fouls people when he needs to, just does that bit of grit really, really well. And then next to him with Bruno, seems to have a bit of mixed reception, especially online. I think like he had a really good game at times, and then we saw the Bruno that we've seen somewhat recently where he just gives the ball away because he's trying to rush things a little bit. I think we're in that mold now where we're trying to decide whether we want to control games or whether we want to play direct. I think that he's somebody that hasn't quite gauged when to do it correctly. But I mean, we saw his quality for the assist for the second goal, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, that ball in was absolutely phenomenal, and he had quite a few moments where his passing was at the level we expect it to be, kind of playing balls in behind, spraying it around. The quality of that cross from Maguire was just...
He made it look easy as well.
Disgustingly easy. Like, he's so talented. But, as you say, there was moments when he didn't seem as composed as maybe we'd have wanted him to be. And say, decision making wasn't quite there. He was picking the wrong options. Wasn't sure, whether to go direct or keep the ball, and kind of almost indecisive on the ball at times, which is not something we'd normally associate with him.
No.
So probably not his best game, but say put in a fantastic ball for the winning goal. So can't complain about that.
No, I mean, in that midfield engine room, especially in a midfield too, you have the choice whether to control the chaos or create it, and I feel like at times he just gets the wrong balance. He gets it correct enough that it's not a massive factor, because he'll have it where he just injects a bit of pace when we're just sat back a little bit. He'll look up, he'll find that perfect ball out wide, or he'll hit that ball really hard at a person, trusting them, and it usually does work out. I mean, we had it, I think it was the first half where he literally hit it as hard as he could. Cunha's chest bounces off to Mbeumo, and we just recycled it, and he played in Cunha, but he lost his footing. It's just little bits like that where he injects pace, and he has those little moments where he just underhits it as well. We saw it a few times to De Ligt, where he had to stretch, and it could have put us under pressure. But in the end, as you said, he put in that incredible cross for big Harry Maguire, who we questioned whether he should be starting or not, especially next to De Ligt, but it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, there was a lot of noise and consternation online when kind of the lineups were announced, and people complaining about not necessarily Maguire being in the team, but that pairing with De Ligt beside him. And I understand, obviously from the defensive point of view, why you want them both back there. In theory, it hasn't really worked in practice until today. But yeah, it was absolutely, completely and fully vindicated as a decision from Amorim to play them both. They were both immense.
Yeah, I just love Delict. He's just a monster. Like, he's literally just a bulldozer. He'll do it all the time where he'll be up against somebody, they're side by side, and he just goes, nope, you're gone. And he just falls to the floor. We had it quite early with Kirkej, where he literally just bodied him. And Kirkej never went near him again after that. It's those little bits where it makes oppositions go, you know what, I'm going to stay away from him. Especially as a centre-back, that's quite key.
It's a really helpful kind of asset to have, isn't it? Just a big, massive human at the back there. He's not afraid to put a shoulder on someone, kind of lean into them, body them. He'll throw his head into places where a lot of people wouldn't. Like a very, very good box defender, a leader, and not actually that bad on the ball either. Like he can pass it a bit as well. It's not his biggest strength, but he's not horrific at it.
Yeah, you're almost there when full like Vidic broke. He throws his head when most people are afraid to put their feet. That is something that Delict is class at. Like we said, he's just no fear, which is surprising considering that he's been doing it since he was like 18 and never really gets injured too much. He was sidelined for a fair bit last season, but he seems like somebody that's just going to get hit and just get up again.
It's not really contact injuries he gets.
No.
Which is surprising given the way he plays at times. I'm making it sound a little bit like he's just a maniac, kind of launching himself into stuff, and he's not that. He's quite considered in the way that he does it. He's just a physical player, and
it's like calculated aggression is what he's got.
Perfectly summed up. Yeah.
And then you go to wing backs as well. There's another bit of contention there. People thought we were going to go a bit more defensive minded with Paddy Dorgu and Delo. We ended up going with Delo on the left hand side, who definitely did struggle in certain moments. Him losing the ball led to the Isak chance and then the Gakpo hitting the post. So we saw why people were a bit annoyed that he was playing there, and we saw the worst of him. But then, as people have mentioned before in the chat that we're in, Salah didn't really have a sniff, and that's a lot down to him and then Luke Shaw next to him.
That's it. Yeah, that. Again, it was one of these sort of contentious points before kickoff when you see him named there and playing kind of this left wing back position, which really doesn't suit him at all. But again, that combination between him and Shaw just completely shut Salah out the game. So while he's definitely not a left back, and a lot of his touches, a lot of his clearances especially were back into dangerous areas.
Rash, completely rash.
And yes, swinging a ball that kind of he had a bit more time. I mean, not enough to take a touch, but didn't have to kind of just lash at the thing. And playing it back out to sort of the edge of the middle of our box. He got away with a couple, but when he went over to right back later on in the game, he was much better, much more composed. It's obviously what he's used to. It's where he plays. It's what he is. But it was night and day, kind of him on those two different sides of the field.
I mean, it's difficult because you think that, you know what, you can play right back. Why can't you play left back? But it is so different. Like when you're, especially for him, he's someone that likes to drive with the ball quite a lot. You'll have to check your opposite shoulder constantly. If you're checking the shoulder you're used to, you're basically opening the pitch out far differently as to how you would on the right hand side. Especially as a player, you're taught to take the ball on your back foot to open your body to see the full picture. If you're doing that, you're doing it on your weak foot if you're on the other side. So every time he was trying to control the ball, he didn't have to second guess how he wants to control it compared to right hand side is completely different. It feels like it should be just a quick, simple switch over, but it's a completely different role. And as you said, once he got moved to that right hand side, he looked a lot more comfortable because he wasn't having to second guess everything he did.
Yeah, no, that's as someone who's played a lot a lot at fullback, left back, which is weird because I'm naturally right-footed but could use my left. But yeah, occasionally would get shunted over to the other side, and even though it's technically my stronger side, it's not what I was used to. It is just everything's the opposite, and yeah, you're second guessing yourself in everything that you're doing, attacking and defending. It is so awkward, unless you've kind of grown up playing both sides, and there's not many that do that effectively.
No. I mean, yeah, I was the opposite. I grew up playing right back for 10 years, and then I would have to move over to left back every now and then. It just, yeah, it's completely different. It's weird, especially like just that partnership, the person next to you. It's just completely different, and we saw it as well with his crossing, where I think it led to one of their attacks as well, where he opened his body out and he tried to do that swinger towards the back post. Defenders know exactly what you're going to be doing there, and they intercepted it quite easily. It's just a completely different role, and just it meant that Ahmad got a yellow card and came off. But he looked far better on the right hand side, so I'm not surprised that he stayed on the pitch, because a lot of people thought he'd be the one to make way for Paddy Dorgu.
Yeah, you would have thought so if you'd kind of had to pick it based purely on how they were playing. I thought Ahmad also had a really good game, first half particularly. But yeah, after the booking, it was completely sensible to take him off and shift Dallo over, even if you wouldn't necessarily have chosen to do that beforehand.
For sure, especially since Gakpo was getting quite a lot of joy in this game, as we saw from him scoring, hitting the post a few times. So you kind of don't want the person marking him to be on the yellow card, especially since it's not their natural position. You find that you get caught out of position a lot if you're, especially Ahmad being usually predominantly a right wing, moving to right wing back, he's going to push up that little bit more, so he's going to be doing a lot more reactive defending. That's been more likely to get given yellow cards, and we just couldn't afford a second yellow.
No, that's it. Like it's kind of asking a more attack-minded player to sit back that little bit is kind of against their kind of their natural instinct, I suppose, and they are likely to be that fraction of a second slower in the decision making, and if you're already on a yellow card, then it's just too risky to leave. Yeah. So, no wonder. Sorry, on you go.
Yeah, I think so. He was just brilliant in the first half, especially attacking. But then we did see him caught out a few times defensively, especially with when Gakpo's cross got deflected, hit the post. Ahmad was completely nowhere to be seen. It's just not his completely natural role. Whether that's going to be his place in the system going forwards, we'll see. But he did have some really good moments, especially for the assist for the first goal. Just using that whip, and him and Mbeumo against Kirk, it just wasn't really fair.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Attacking wise, like his output is really good, even if it's not maybe been measured as much in goals and assists this year. Just his kind of his link up play and that partnership that's forming with Mbeumo is really blossoming into something quite impressive. I think now this last couple of games. So yeah, defending isn't really his game, but he's still putting in a shift. Most of the time, he's at least getting back there and trying to do the job. But as you say, against good teams, which Liverpool are, despite the run that they're on, like you will get found out at times, and I suppose it probably shouldn't have been overly surprising that it did on the occasions that it did. For sure. Thankfully, it didn't really cause us too much damage. But yeah, I suppose there's always going to be trade-offs, kind of with playing a wing back, that you're wanting to cover so much ground and do both roles.
Oh, for sure. And then speaking of putting in a shift, the last person we've not mentioned yet in Mason Mount, he wasn't quite as effective as he was against Sunderland. But again, we just saw those moments of his press, and he just always seems to arrive at the right time and in the right spaces. We had a few opportunities to beat Marshvili. It didn't quite work for him today, but it's still just a good ball of energy, really.
That's it. He never seems to stop moving. Like he's always in perpetual motion, pressing here, dropping back here, kind of squeezing the space. He's just relentless, and yeah, I can see now at kind of this stage why so many coaches have loved him, because he is just all action.
So, and then going into those that did eventually come onto the pitch, we saw the likes of Lenny Yoro come on, who he just seems, I don't know, he just seems bigger this season. He just won every single aerial duel, which we've always looked at him as being this incredibly composed player who's got a good recovery about him. But his physicality was always questioned a little bit. He just did everything right again today.
Well, that's it. You can see that he's grown. He's filled out a bit. He's been in the gym over the summer, definitely.
Him and Mainu working together, it's obvious.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Like the physical development is there. Like I think he's so good. You almost forget how young he is. He is still what, 19. He's
19.
Yeah. He's so young, and he will take time to kind of develop that physical side of his game. But yeah, he's clearly on the right road, definitely, and yeah, very very impressive when he came on. So he's very composed, good on the ball, and gets stuck in as well.
So I put a post out about it after the game. I don't know if this is a damning indictment on us or a show of how young he is. Last time he beat Liverpool, he was in primary school, which is just a bit crazy. He came on, controlled that game when he was on. Yeah, he was 10 years old when we beat Liverpool last time at Anfield.
That's scary, isn't it? Like
I think that's a positive, or yeah. That's what I'll put out, that because we've got quite a young team. 5 of the 11 had made their debuts, so 6 of the 11 hadn't made professional debuts yet. The last time they did Liverpool at Anfield.
Yeah,
quite a young team. And then Amorim was playing in Qatar.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Amorim was playing football. I can't remember who it was for, but he was playing in the Qatari league last time he beat Liverpool at Anfield.
Yeah, that was a while ago. It was long overdue, especially.
It's almost a decade in the making, this result.
Yeah, and given some of the results we've had there in that time, I think we were due this one.
Yeah, I mean, literally across Ollie and Ten Hag, neither manager managed to get a goal at Anfield, let alone a point. So I think Ten Hag got a draw. I think Ollie got a 0-0 draw.
Mm-hmm.
But then it sprinkled in there. Ten Hag got battered twice. Ollie got battered once or twice.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible achievement what Amorim's done, especially considering the fact that before last season when we played them, we'd scored 3 goals in 9 years, and now we scored 4 in 2. It's a pretty impressive little turnaround, especially for the struggles that we have had since he's come in.
No, it's definitely an accolade for him. I think he's clearly getting it right when we go there, and hopefully that can translate now into games against the rest of the bigger teams in the league. Like we've seen us pick up the odd result here and there against them, but yeah, it'd be nice to kind of to be a bit more consistent.
For sure.
One thing that I think was apparent, and somebody mentioned it in the group chat that we were in earlier on, is that we went there today and we didn't look like we were scared of Liverpool like we have done in the past. Like they weren't. There was no fear in the United team today. Like other times, like we've turned up at Anfield and we've like it feels like we've decided we've lost the game before it even starts. And there was none of that there today at all, which is a huge shift in mentality, and it's something that we've really needed.
I mean, we saw it, like, as we mentioned previously, just Sonny Lamont personified that, where he just seemed completely unfazed by everything. When we saw after the match, Amorim came out and said, "This is just another 3 points. We go again next week." And as many managers have said in the past, similar when we've got good results, we actually felt it this time. It felt like, you know what, it's Liverpool, it's amazing, we're going to enjoy this moment, but it's on to the next one.
Yeah, I think it's probably important not to dwell too much on it. Like it's it's our biggest rival. It's the game we always want to win more than just about any other. But in the context of the league and of the season, it is just one game, and there's more to come. There's a lot more work to do. It's the first time we've picked up back-to-back wins, so now the focus has to be on building on it and making sure that it's meaningful, and we don't just go back to win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game, and yo-yoing like we have before. Like this has to be the start of a platform, and I think Amorim's comments after the game have been really useful, and kind of shifting that mindset and saying yes, great to beat Liverpool, but there's more at play.
Yeah, that poor guy might finally be getting his haircut.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
I really
it's
hope he
interesting
does.
that the fifth game in that run will be Tottenham, so it'll be a good chance to get revenge for the Europa League. Getting that guy a haircut.
That would be excellent, actually. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't really need that reminder about that Europa League final, Ben, but
Yeah, sorry. I know. Yeah. But to be fair, we've got a pretty favourable run coming up now. So we've got Brighton, Forest, Tottenham will be a tough one, Everton, Palace, West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Villa. So we're going to say these are easy games because we look at the fixtures quite a lot and we'll say, you know what, we should be getting points here and points there. It never quite works out that way. But having played Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City, somewhat looking forward to the run of fixtures we've got now for once.
yeah, which it should be cause for optimism. This kind of run, the next 10 games or whatever it is, and yeah, hopefully, given the way that we've performed today, and against Sunderland, and even against Arsenal, and at other times in the other games, like if we can just continue the good bits that have clearly been building, and hopefully not have a repeat of Brentford and City. Hopefully those performances can just be completely set aside and forgotten about now.
Absolutely. I mean, hindsight's a great thing. Like, we would look back at some of the results, the games we dropped points in so far this season, and said they should be easy wins. But the way that the league's looking this season, if we can get 7 out of the next 10 wins, it would look really good for us. I mean, we've seen that we're 6 points off Arsenal, who are top right now. We're 4 points behind City, and we're 1 point off Champions League positions. We've started the season really poorly, and that was always evident from what has been said in the media and just the looks of everything. It was no surprise. But things are looking good, and this season has been really tight. Even those up there haven't looked that good.
No, that's it. Like this run, sort of basically between now and Christmas, I suppose. Like it's a really, really good opportunity for us to pick up a decent number of points in the league and really kind of cement ourselves towards the top end of the table. It's such a turnaround from where we were last year that I'm kind of maybe still struggling to kind of actually comprehend it and accept it. But yeah, if we can pick up, say, 7 wins from the next 10, then I think we'll be well on the way to having actually really quite a good season.
You know, people, they always used to say, never look at the league until Christmas. It's become different now that you actually see the league update in real time. But back in like the 90s, early 2000s, when it was just print paper, you never used to see the league until later in the season than we do now. So if we can get to about Christmas, and already having played 4 of the top of the big 6 in the first 8 games, we've only got 1 left for the next 10. If we can pick up some results by Christmas, we should hopefully be looking at a completely different season than we were 12 months ago.
Yeah, I hope so anyway. And
Yeah, let's say hindsight's a wonderful thing. So we're going to look back at this at Christmas and we'll be like, we're 14th. What the hell happened?
yeah, no, that's not going to be the case again. Like I'm pretty confident of that. But yeah, I just hope that kind of there isn't too much of an emotional high after the win today, and we kind of backslide from that. Like I don't think that'll happen. It doesn't look like a team that was just like completely gassed to have won and just like they weren't overly emotional at the win. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And like, so hopefully like the mindset is right and we can go on a bit of a run from here. I think it'd be really important for us to do so.
Absolutely. Let's hope that they just have a quick reflection, move on, be ready for the Brighton game.
Absolutely, yeah. We've kind of form against Brighton's kind of up and down over the years, so hopefully,
Welbeck goal usually.
Yeah, that's normally the way. Like the ghost of Danny Welbeck coming back to haunt us over and over and over again. Yeah, that's one that's tinged with regret. But yeah.
So speaking of reflecting and moving on, so before we do move on and wrap up, who was your man of the match?
There's so many candidates that I think really put their hands up. I think Lamens again was excellent at the back, super composed. Nothing he could do for the goal, but a really solid performance the rest of the time. Obviously, Maguire picked up the winner. I thought, generally pretty solid at the back. De Ligt beside him as well. Another one I thought played excellently. Brian Mbumo up top as well. Another fantastic performance from him. But I think man of the match for me probably have to go to Cunha. I think just for the way he was able to take hold of the ball, take control of the ball, and just usher us up the field. Like we've been crying out for a player who'll just kind of take the game by the scruff of the neck and just make things happen. And while it didn't always kind of result in too many chances, I think kind of his impacts were really pivotal, especially kind of in that second half towards the end of the game.
100%. I fully agree. I think Matthias Cunha, I don't think he's going to get the flowers that he deserves because he didn't walk off the pitch with a goal or an assist, which he hasn't done much this season. Has he got a goal or assist yet?
Not yet. No.
Vivian's got an assist, no. So he's not going to get the flowers I think he deserves, but it was such a good performance. And how good was it, by the way, to list off all these players that played well? That's not something that happens very often. It's usually pick up a win. You know what? These four were really good, but the rest of them were a bit okay. Whereas this was a complete performance.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Yeah. No, I don't think there were too many who you could say had a bad game, or at least not a bad total kind of performance. Like everyone was putting in a shift. Like you can tell that the players that we have want to fight for the club, fight for the team, fight for their mates, and fight for us as fans as well. Like that is evident throughout this team now, which is definitely not something we could have said at many points over the last few years.
100%. And then before we wrap up, what was your thoughts on Amorim's decisions and tactics today, and what would you give him out of 10?
Like, I think generally he got it pretty much bang on. It's at least an 8.5. Like even the changes he made to the starting lineup. So people were surprised to see Dalot and Ahmed as the wing backs, not starting with Šeško up top, but you could see kind of the rationale behind those decisions in the way that the team played, the way the team was set up to play. Like, that all worked. The changes he made, when he made them, mostly worked. I'd say there was a bit of a drop off when Casemiro went off, as there generally is, because him and Ugarte are just such different players. But you can't really blame the manager for that. So yeah, I'd say it has to be 8.5, maybe even a 9. It's not quite a perfect 10 out of 10, but it's definitely got to be up there for me.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's close to.
Mm-hmm.
One of those things where every decision that he made, every big decision, it felt justified in the end. That everything that we thought that player coming in could do, it ended up doing.
That's it. Like, as you said, every decision that he made sense, and yeah, you can't really fault it. He's, you know, the team that he's put out has got us a 2-1 win against Liverpool at Anfield. Like, as I said to you at the start, I am absolutely buzzing with that result. And yeah, a lot of credit has to go to the manager.
100%. All right, well, thank you very much for joining me, John. I'm sure we'll be seeing you around, and if not, I will put a link to Sensible United, where me and you've been contributing, I'm sure, quite a lot.
Perfect. Cheers, Ben. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, man.